Ladies and gentlemen, back to Entertainment Banter. My name is Joel.
And I'm Matt.
On this evening's Entertainment Banter, we shall talk about retro gaming or modern gaming compared to classic gaming. Yeah? That was a good time.
Yeah, okay.
I just brought that up. I bantered that
Oh,
up.
you did. That just came to you,
It just
huh?
came to me. So,
It's such a shit. All right, keep going.
so nowadays, kids are playing games.
Kids, huh?
Kids. Yeah. Kids are playing newer
Okay,
systems.
just kids, huh? Okay.
If you could see my face. Not you, Nick.
just, just keep going.
If modern gaming, right now, it looks like this. You can buy a console. This is modern gaming now as of 2020, early 2020. I'm not talking about what's going to happen with the non-console gaming that's happening. We're specifically talking about console gaming, right? Is that what we're talking about? We're not talking about like the future where Google wants to make a system without having a system. You just have to have a computer or an iPad that can operate it. Does that make sense?
That already failed.
Did it
that
really?
already tanked. Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about that in a minute
not,
then. So we're talking about modern gaming with Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, who are the contenders right now, compared to classic gaming. We even bring up to modern classic, I would say, not vintage. We're not going to go Atari and Odyssey and TurboGrafx even further beyond like that, or Neo Geo. We're going to talk about Nintendo, even Sony a little bit. They joined later in the game. Sony, even Microsoft.
Sega brands too.
And Sega. And we'll definitely talk about Nintendo and Sega. But we're comparing that style. And the style is you used to buy everything in the store like the video game. And when you bought the game, it had everything that came with it. It had all the extras. Anything you can earn in the game was on that cartridge or eventually CD or DVD or even VCD. But then modern gaming now, you buy the game. You can still buy the game in the store, but you don't have to. Me personally, as a classic gamer, I like to have physical copies in my hand. But you don't have to. I noticed being on the road, having virtual games would be a lot easier because you don't have to carry them all. Yeah. So
right.
You're not losing anything buying the game in the store. What you're losing is buying online. You're losing that physical cartridge or a CD that could possibly sell or gain in value, which they do. Some of them do. Some of them are crazy prices. So you have the option to still buy them. A lot of people don't. But when you buy them now, though, regardless of how you purchase them, you do not get that full game anymore. Now you have to buy expansion packs. You sometimes get the full game, but it's not the full game that the creator intended it for. They do a cash grab, and you have to either buy an expansion pack. If you want certain clothing to help the game go better, you have to buy those item packs or whatever they want to call it. And now we live in that world where you don't get the full game. Back then, you do. I refused to buy downloadable content most of the time. Eventually they become free, and I know it's frustrating. I remember the first map pack I bought for Halo was for Halo 2 for Xbox. Xbox did not have internet access abilities that I'm aware of. I knew it had an Ethernet port so you can link systems together, which we definitely took advantage of that. But you never could download content. So when I wanted more maps, when Bungie created more maps for Halo, you had to go to the store and buy a physical DVD that had the map pack on it. You installed in your Xbox. And that's what I remember. Now, the question is, Matt, do you feel we are losing touch with our classic gaming, or do you feel like we are just exploring more? I mean, I know we make jokes about like back in my day when video games came out, but it is true. And games were harder back then too, I think, in my personal.
Oh my God, yes. I just tried to play Mega Man 1.
I know, you wouldn't answer my phone call.
I wouldn't answer your calls. I was trying to beat it. And I didn't cheat, by the way. I didn't use cheat codes or anything. I got to Wily, but then the kids got in the way.
Did you know this cheat? I don't know how. The thing is, also, I want to mention, I have no idea how people find how people find fucking codes and cheats and glitches and things without the internet back then. Because did you know?
Nintendo Power.
In the Nintendo, we did get Nintendo Power.
Nintendo Power is what did it.
They told you the Konami code and all that, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
But did they tell you about the Mega Man cheat if you have a second controller in Mega Man 1, 2, and all the Mega Mans for Nintendo?
Oh my God, I forgot all about
Second
that. But
controller
yes,
held a button down
Intimate Lives, right?
no, it made you jump the whole screen of the TV.
Oh,
It made you
interesting.
jump the whole screen, pretty much.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Came in handy.
Well, I'm gonna get back to your question, your loaded question. So basically, for me, I think what's interesting, as always, is call it Generation X, the Pepsi generation, whatever you want to call it. It started a little bit prior. I don't know, much prior to. No, it was the Pepsi generation, Generation X. That's when gaming consoles really were born and people
90s.
started playing them. You know, and
90s.
even, no,
Mid
80s.
80s. Mid
I'm,
80s.
I'm going back to like Atari. I'm just going to
You
start
are
with
going
like
back there.
Atari. You know what I mean? And going forward. Well, the only reason why I say that is because
It's the
they
birthplace
got us
of it
that
all.
young, right? They got us, and they got us that young, and we've been buying them ever since.
And it got.
I'm just looking from
I mean, you and I grew
my
up
perspective
in the video game
Yeah,
age, which is great.
and now we have kids,
We
right? And
definitely,
they want
yeah. Well, the first
they want their consoles.
first video games
so.
were arcade, so Atari and like those companies, like even Odyssey, Magnavox, they got the systems consoles into your home. That was like the arcade system in your
and
home.
that was amazing and unreal, at the time, because back then you had to go and take your quarters and you had to go down to an actual arcade, and that's the only way you could play games,
Right. And
But I remember going to a Pizza Hut and I was just so stoked
Yes,
that
Pizza
they would have
Huts.
Pac-Man. You know what I mean?
On that tabletop, right?
So not only did you get pizza, while you're waiting for pizza, you got to play the games. Um,
And you got to
made the
eat
time
the
more
food
fun.
right there where you're playing
Yeah.
games, like right on top of it. Yeah.
Right, and then Dave and Buster still kind of exist, those type of places. We're getting off subject here,
Mhm.
but what I was going to say is, you can't pull the wool over our eyes when it comes to our generation. Like, we knew how gaming started, and we know where it is now. And throughout the course of history, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, would you say
You're
it's
wrong.
become more and more of a greedy, really? It's become more and more of a greedy situation where
No, I was
you
joking.
end up spending more money on each console that's created, and then in addition to that, that console, then you buy a game, the game prices keep going higher and higher and higher.
They
But then in
do.
addition to that, you have to buy DLCs, you got to buy service plans,
It's a
and
cash
then you have
grab.
to not service plans, but the yearly subscriptions. I mean, and then now, based on software developers, you have to buy subscriptions within subscriptions. It's getting to the point now where, like, I don't know, say someone like a guy that has two little kids, by the time you turn your Xbox on, you've got so many updates. You just wasted your 20 minutes downloading the updates because, now you got the kids are awake. So it's like you can't even play it anymore. So is it to me, I feel like it's more of a, and then sometimes the service is slow or down, like that, and that's not necessarily the gamer platforms, but it could just be the time of day for internet. But it doesn't matter. The point is there's always some lag, there's always some if we had loading times for PlayStation 2s and 1s, and even before that, the cartridge games, there really wasn't any loading time at all.
No.
And so, now games require internet. Some games are only available on the internet. You can't have campaigns anymore. So there's a lot of changes that have happened to the gaming world, and I brought it up because what I think is ironic is people are getting pissed off about all this stuff. It's more of a hassle than it's worth, and you're
Right.
coughing up $100+ by the time you're done with DLCs and everything else to play one game that has constant updates and whatever. And sometimes the updates change the game completely. Like, I remember we were playing World at War or Call of Duty, and they took the tanks out of the game completely and all these other things at one point. I was like, what? So I was mentioning it because I noticed in the past couple of years, you have too, that retro consoles are coming out and they're hot, and they come around Christmas time. The Nintendo, the mini Super NES, the Sega Genesis Mini, all these consoles are coming out and people are buying them like hotcakes because maybe it's nostalgia. And again, a 5-year-old's not wanting these things. It's the people from our generation that are buying them. And I think it's because, I mean, yeah, let's be real. A lot of people nowadays probably have the ROMs on their computers or emulators, but there's something about the console itself and having those games, knowing they're not going to glitch, knowing that you don't have to have the internet.
Hold on, Nintendo's
You just
gonna
turn
glitch.
it on and play.
Nintendo will glitch.
What's that?
Nintendo glitched.
You think it did?
The system?
Mini?
Don't you? No, not the mini, but the old school one.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about these new retro examples of the old consoles, like the Nintendo Mini and the Super NES Mini and the Sega Genesis Mini. They're all coming out now, and people are buying them like hotcakes because my opinion is you don't need the internet. They have games pre-installed. They're literally striking to our nostalgia. You don't have to have a
Yeah, that's why
service
they came out.
plan or or whatever annual fee contract, whatever that kind of thing, and you just play them. You don't have loadings, you don't have updates, you just play them. And I feel like people are gravitating more towards that again because gaming as a whole, with all these other added bullshit features and things, just is getting old for people. Like being forced to play with people you don't want to play with, and when you come home from work and dealing with a bunch of assholes all day, the last thing you want to do is talk to a bunch of assholes. It's just, even though they've kind of eliminated that too, and with private chats and whatever else, it's still, you know what I mean? You're still dealing with dicks. Like I remember I was trying to play Rainbow Six. My brother bought it for me, and granted, the game had been out for well over a year and a half, and like that's like iPhones. Like if you had an iPhone for more than a year, it's already old, right? So I just turned it on, and everyone's already, I don't know what the equivalent of prestiged or whatever. They've got everything. They've maxed out their characters. They're top of the game. They know these maps inside and out. I just started playing this game, and like I I made the mistake of shooting one of my own teammates, and I tell you what, then the wrath of God was on me the rest of the time I was online for like the next fucking 6 times I went on, just because these people are just so, I don't know, lunatic about the games. Like it's just like, dude, like obviously my intention is not to kill my own players. I literally, the first time I picked that game up, and it's like, but instead of them just rolling it off, like no, the whole team just decides just shooting you like crazy, which is, you know what I mean? Like at that point in time, it's like I just wasted, $50 on a game because now I can't even make one mistake without people being told douchebags about it.
Well,
You
I
fall
know.
off of a cliff in Mario, and you just start the game over.
You definitely. There's been a few times we're playing Halo 2 because that was the first one was online. Halo 2 was online. Xbox did have online play.
Okay, so what would be the last system, do you think? PlayStation 2?
It had online play too.
Last console that you didn't really have to go online to do anything for?
Well, it was the trial run and seeing things like ahead of their time, like not ahead of their time, but trying things out. No, I was gonna say something about you playing online when you instantly like we're playing like Halo. You join a team of banded strangers, and usually they kill you all at once. Everyone just kills you, and you're like, "What the fuck, man?" And they're like, and then you come back, and then you hear some guy in the back going, "You take your lumps." And once you take your lumps, you're in. So it's like now you're part of the Crips, on online. You're like, yeah, man, I'm in. But like, man, you're never gonna get out. That's it. You're over.
You're so stupid. I
may have heard that somewhere.
But that was back. But that was back. That's a good point too, though. But that was back before they started doing the private parties, really.
No.
You were forced to deal
during
with them.
Halo 2. We've never one of my friends. We never played online with strangers. We kind of stopped. We just played with ourselves. But then we started like, you know what? Let's see how good we are. And then you start playing against other people. You're like, oh shit, I can stand my own, or I'm really good, or damn, that sucked. And we as a group would play it all the time. And I think originally the online play was amazing. It came out the right time because it was like our growing up. I remember staying so like we used to have Halo parties at my house, and now we just stayed at home. And I remember playing till like 5, 6 in the morning, and hear one of my buddies go, "Ah, shit!" We're like, "What? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And he goes, I gotta be in class in 2 hours.
Oh yeah. So. No, my thing is the 360. When the Xbox 360 came out, I felt like Halo 3, the Modern Warfare's, early Modern Warfare's, and even in Gears 4, we did the same thing. We'd get home because we worked late. We did shows, obviously, so we'd get home at around 11:30 midnight.
Me too.
And we'd play till like 3 in the morning.
all the time.
And
all the time.
You're right, because we all had it and we all played it together. We were obviously on a team, but there were those times where it's like, if you just wanted to play by yourself,
I did that a few times.
Join a team.
I did that.
Your own teammates are talking shit to you and all this other stuff. Or vice versa.
Usually,
sometimes people did things on purpose just to be dicks.
Well, people go online just to troll, just be bitches. I definitely. When I played Halo online by myself, I would literally take my mic off and not listen because I'm like, I don't want to deal with your shit talking. I don't want to hear it. I mean, that's probably where Nintendo Switch is falling because they don't have a talking ability unless you use your phone with it, which is a Nintendo app to do it that way. But
well, another thing too is people were modding their controllers. So like I remember playing Call of Duty, and Halo, and these people were like super fast
Oh
all over the
no!
place.
You know how they did that? It wasn't the controller they modded. It was that they could have modded something in the game, but they also would hit standby on their router, which would it did something. I guess it made the Wi-Fi search, but so it kept you moving at normal pace, who was hitting the standby, and it glitched everybody else.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Xbox,
and we had to back
tried
out
to
on
fix
those
that.
a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, but my point is, we're getting back to the whole subject matter of what do you think people? I'm just going to stick to our generation because the younger kids don't know and don't really care, unless their parents are involved in it. But like,
Right.
do you think our generation is getting tired of the way gaming's going and are reverting back to these retro devices?
Before I answer that question, I want to ask this question. So it sparked when you were talking, and I wanted to mention it. And there's some funny things. So Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast.
Yeah.
People, if you don't know Sega Dreamcast, go fucking buy one. We'll wait. I know you can find them on eBay. They're getting expensive. It was probably ahead of its time. Till today, holds up as the best arcade matching machine ever because Sega loved that shit. They drive it. The processing power was so quick. It was great. I look at I played Super Nintendo recently, Street Fighter. The reaction time on it is so bad. Like no matter how fast I am, the character won't react. So we've obviously grown with video games and adapted to newer surroundings and faster pace. So our hand-eye coordination is much better than it would have been. I would admit to that. But what you sparked earlier is that Dreamcast. I was going totally off topic.
That's fine. That's what we do. We banter.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
So
keep going, baby. Keep going.
Would you call me?
You heard me.
Whore.
Keep going. Chop chop.
So Dreamcast, ahead of its time, also was doing online play ahead of its time. It was one of the first systems that came with a 56K modem or 28.8, right?
Wow, that is fast.
I remember having those modems, man. It took so long to download porn. Half the fucking pixels we loaded up. We're like, is that a tit or is that a background? Who knows?
Oh my god, just keep going.
But there's a game that my friends and I played called Phantasy Star Online. Now, you mentioned about online play. Now, Dreamcast did have online play for certain games. No downloadable content that I'm aware of. But it had Phantasy Star Online. You can play the campaign offline.
Oh, that's good.
And I remember playing tons of times with my friends. We would play 4 players, and all we do is go through the game. And have you ever played Phantasy Star Online?
No.
It's an RPG, so you have like a mag thing that floats behind you, and it helps you fight fights. And it's a real-time RPG, a real-time strategy, I guess, but not like it's an RTS, but it's not really like a World of Warcraft, not World of Warcraft, like a Warcraft. It is like World of Warcraft. It's less like Warcraft Worlds or StarCraft. I think those are real-time strategies too.
Yes, yeah.
So, adventure RPG, again, that's what it's called. Anyways, classifying it, back then they didn't really have a classification for it, I don't think. Any hoots. As you're playing that game, we're playing up. I remember we used to play until, during the summer, we'd play until 9, 10 in the morning. I remember my friend's parents coming down with their son who was in summer school, and they're like, did you guys, we're sleeping over at the house, like, did you guys go to sleep? We're like, my buddy would look at him and go, my buddy would look at him and go, hey, ask how much sleep we got. How much sleep we got? How much sleep did you guys get? Couldn't tell ya. Ha 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 ha. So we'd play all the time, and we like, do you have any? Then his mom would ask us, like, don't you have time for girls? We were 16 at the time, and we just got our driver's license. And she's like, why don't you guys? It's summer vacation. Why don't you guys go out and go get girls? And my buddy would just be like, girls? I don't got time for girls. I gotta level up my mag.
Oh jeez. Oh my god.
And we would just joke about that shit all the time. It was so much fun. But I bring up this game because it had the ability to go online and play with online people. And we never did that for Phantasy Star Online, but they released a second version of Phantasy Star Online. What was on Dreamcast was solely online play. And the only reason why they did that is because it was to copy what was EverQuest at the time, which was the big game, was similar to what Phantasy Star was, and that was only PC-based. We're not talking about PC games here, but it was PC-based, and those were subscription-based. And then World of Warcraft became that, and you paid a monthly subscription to play online. And I remember my friends telling me they were selling their gold on eBay when eBay just started picking up. I'm like, you're selling fake money on eBay? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, I'm also buying it too. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? You're selling and buying digital shit. It's not real. It's not real. Why are people buying it? So it drove me nuts. So that was an only online gameplay in Dreamcast. And Dreamcast also, no, Xbox released an only online game too as well. It was also, ever heard of Steel Battalion?
That sounds familiar.
Steel Battalion, I owned it for a little bit, but I got rid of it because it's just, you get a 40-plus button controller with pedals, joysticks, switches, all the things, because you know how much you like Gundam, right?
Yeah,
I like Gundam too, and the one reason why I bought it because you're in a giant mech warrior suit.
So this game came with this massive controller.
Fucking controller, but they made a second version of it with no controller, but you bought the second one for like $20. It was on an expansion pack. It was literally just to play online, and it was only online. But that game was it was so realistic and so hard, is that as you're playing it, you don't get lives. There's no lives, because if you die, you're dead. It's real life. You go, you live, and there's only like 10 levels or 12 levels. I only got the level 3 because you're always so scared because level 3 is so hard, and if you die, you have to start all over. So it was almost like old school gaming. You die, you start over. And it was so fucking annoying. I remember my friend was playing in the chair and he's doing the joystick things, going da 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 da, and you feel like you're really into it. He ran and his mech started falling over because of the weight. You got to know your guy has weight. And as he starts falling over, he's leaning with it too, going, oh no, I can't fix this. And he fell off the chair playing the game. And you're almost dead in the water. You have to somehow get back up, and you hit these buttons and combinations and you get back up. But you can get blown up down there. And if you die, again, you're over. And it was really bad. So we're always scared to go past a certain thing. So there's also like those kind of games that I loved playing. And you played up till 3, 4 in the morning playing those games. And
oh yeah, for sure.
So,
but I don't know.
So they
if
did
you
have them.
answered
So
my question.
I didn't answer. I don't know what your question is.
My question was: do you think our generation is reverting back to the console systems that don't require
100%
downloadable content,
100%.
updates,
Yes,
online play?
I think there's still gonna be us playing the online. Like we play Switch. I'm gonna still play my Xbox One.
But you know what? The Switch is I told my wife, because a couple podcasts, quite a few ago, for my birthday, it's pretty clear that you were kind enough to buy me one. But the Switch still has that old school, original console gaming feel where you don't have to be online to play Mario.
Yeah, but to get all the characters,
Smash Brothers.
like Smash Brothers, you have to buy characters.
You do have to buy characters.
That's
Annoying. Well, that's kind of, to me, that is annoying. But I find it more annoying if I have to be online in order to play the game. Like there was, like, for example, traveling and moving a lot that we do. When I moved to my current location, I actually plugged in my 360, and we didn't have internet yet. We just moved, and I remember I had a whole bunch of digital purchases on my 360, and I saved them to the hard drive. I could not access them
because you needed to be online.
Access them. I needed to be online, and I was like,
crazy?
"What the fuck?"
So not only do you fucking need an internet subscription to function in this world, now you have to have internet somehow. No matter how you talk about, you need internet.
Right.
Second thing now too, if you're playing online gaming, some of them you can go online now for free. They used to not be able to do that. You used to go online for free because some games require that, so you don't have to pay for the silver membership or some bullshit. But now, and Sony for the longest time never charged. I don't know if they still charge.
That's true.
Don't do that now.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's right. That
And
was one of the benefits for 360 they were competing with.
Nintendo didn't charge for Wii, but I know now you have to pay subscriptions for at least Microsoft for Xbox Live,
right?
And then Nintendo you have to play as well. I'm not sure about Sony, but you have to pay that. Then subscription fees, internet. Then you have to pay your downloadable content shit, and then maybe you'll get the whole game.
Right. Well, and that doesn't include the constant updates. Like, it's amazing. Certain games just have updates almost every day.
Oh yeah,
and that's so annoying.
It's been doing that for a long time though, because it was about 10 years ago. I was walking down the stairs in the house I was living in at the time. My roommates were playing their PlayStation. It was probably 2 PM, but I was just waking up, and I just come down there and I see him like the download screen of like updating for PlayStation 3 or 2. I want to say.
Yeah.
It was probably 3, and. Damn, it's PlayStation 3. They didn't make that many systems in the last 10 years. That's crazy. But anyways, he was uploading, and he's like, oh, yeah, I've been uploading for the last hour. I haven't played the system in like a week. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You have to wait for this shit to load up?
Well, not only that, but like when you it's always like new games too. Like a new game comes out, and of course, instead of just having the bugs fixed or anything else, it's instantly like, like there's updates a week after the game comes out. It's so annoying. Like
Or just right away.
was just
You
made.
you
It
have
just was made.
you have to you buy the game now, and then it tells you like, do you want to pre-order the game with this downloadable content? You're like, no. Do I need it? Oh, well, you won't be able to get this, this, and this, and this to make the game
Right.
more
Right.
functioning if you don't buy this as well. Like, why the fuck aren't you just putting it all in the game?
Or
Why?
if you don't pre-order it, you get access to
it's a fucking cash
more
grab.
advantages and stuff. Oh yeah, it is. But
Absolutely.
my point is, like,
but we're,
after a while,
we're
people
being
get tired
burnt
of it.
out. That's why when Nintendo released the NES Classic little portable, not portable, but you know what I mean. It was popular because we were like, oh, these are all the little games we want to play. They're all on there, and it's small and it looks like the Nintendo. It's cute, and I don't have to download content. Not saying our generation is not doing it, because I know plenty of my generation that are.
But you know what though? I'm not going to deny that either. But the thing is though, people that appreciate those games, like for example, I still bought a mini Super NES. You know what I mean?
Oh, you did?
I just, yeah.
Yeah.
And because like, like I'm gonna support products. Like I'll be honest with you, like back in the day, Napster. I don't know if anybody remembers that shit.
Yeah,
but
I do. Just
I downloaded so much music off of Napster.
When legal
but
gaming,
then the thing is though, but
legal
you know what though?
downloading.
Illegal downloading.
No,
but
it was legal back then. They didn't know how to fight it.
It was legal because it's the equivalent of
rules.
like listening to the radio. As long as you deleted the files, it was no different.
Well, there were
than
no
listening to
rules
the radio.
yet. They got major lawsuits. I remember that.
Right. But what I'm saying is, because I liked that music so much that I downloaded, it encouraged me to listen to those artists more, find more of their music, and eventually end up buying their music. Because I don't mind buying music, you know what I mean?
Well,
and I like listening to high quality stuff anyways.
Having even going out and buying that physical CD was a big thing to me, and I really made a big deal. I want this game in my hand. I want to be able to hold it.
Exactly.
Because I was just saying, like, you only buying digital stuff it's hard.
Well, it's tough because
really
you got to back
hard.
it up, And again, like I had all that digital stuff on my 360, but because I just moved, I couldn't access it. That's bullshit. And then for anybody that's like saying, "Well, guess what? Stop living in the dark ages. Everyone has an internet today." It's like, guess what?
They really do, but not everybody does.
A week ago, the whole Eastern Seaboard lost the internet because Spectrum cut one of the fucking wrong wires. So
don't cut the blue wire.
Yeah, shit happens all the time.
Right.
You rely on the internet. We as a society right now rely on the internet way too much, and I can tell you firsthand, it's gonna bite you in the ass at some point. So, for me personally, whenever I can get like I said, that hard copy, I'm gonna get that hard copy.
Me too.
That's it.
It's being harder on the road, but definitely worth getting. And I wanted to bring up another point too. While you're talking, I know we're getting short on time because I've been talking a lot.
That's right.
About damn time, Matt. I don't know what you're doing.
I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
I'm listening to you talk.
I just want to bring up because you're mentioning like also buying the systems. The systems themselves, the consoles, back then seemed really expensive, but now they are pennies compared to the shit people buy now.
The game itself.
No, not even that. So I bought the Wii or the Switch for just under $300.
Right.
It's an amazing system for $300 if you think about it.
It is.
But look at what people are buying. Like, oh, you buy the system and then buy the games. It's expensive. But people are usually buying this online, these products, via Amazon or eBay, and they're using what? Their $1,000 fucking phones. Or their $2,000 MacBooks. Or their $1,000 iPads. And it's like, those are way more money than any of these consoles. And I've gotten a lot of use out of my tablets and shit. Ew. But
what's interesting? No, I'm serious. Well,
consoles, I would get a lot more use out of them because I'd be playing and having a lot of fun with them.
Well, and I don't know if you noticed too, but like the last couple of years, the consoles, they have not been impressive because after the 360 had a huge run, and it had
so did PlayStation 3,
like hundreds, thousands, I don't know, thousands games, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the Wii, but then what happened is they came out with the Wii U, which only had like 6 or 7 major games, and then they came out with the Xbox One. Now with the Xbox One, they really didn't come out with a lot of games. It was a lot of repeat games. It was like Skyrim remastered, Assassin's Creed 3
Halo, all the
remastered,
Halos
Halo
remastered.
remastered. Like it was nothing original about any of it for long, and I just feel like I asked my brother because he had a Wii U, because the Switch you got me. I was like, a lot of the games that were on Wii U are on the Switch, and I was thinking like, are these the same games that were on the Wii U? And he's like, yeah. And so maybe the graphics are better, maybe there's some slight
No, they're
changes,
not much
but
better.
there's not a lot of difference between the games. So it's
Right.
like, so all you're doing is buying a new, instead of paying 300 for console, now it's 400 or 500, and they're saying, well, now it's 4K and now it's whatever K, and it's like, okay, great, but where are the new games? Where you are literally remaking older games and
Yeah.
and putting them out there.
I also think that our generation is getting fed up at buying systems over and over again. It's about
Right.
time. Like that's why they've bought older systems, but that's also why they were going to bring up. Google was making their own system, console-less system, which is pretty
Yeah,
much to
it
me.
already tanked.
To me, it's just that's an iPad or a fucking iPhone. You just buy that
Right.
and get apps or
Just to
download
buy
games.
an app.
Yeah.
Exactly. Down a
Because
game.
Nintendo
an app.
makes Nintendo apps. You can get Mario Brothers on fucking the iPhone now. Like not the. I'm not sure what Mario Brothers now, but they have that.
Well, Google was a part of Microsoft at some point, right? And did they branch out and do their own thing? Is that
Who,
how it
Google?
happened? Yeah, because I
I don't
remember Microsoft. Xbox broke away from Microsoft, so I feel like it's
No, they
ironic
did, and
that
then
Google
Microsoft
would.
bought them back. I'm not sure what Xbox is
Oh,
doing now.
okay. Well, because I think it'd be ironic that the company got rid of Xbox is now trying to compete with Xbox with its own gaming platform. I just thought it was really stupid. That would be the
Well,
case.
Google and Microsoft are two different companies.
Right, but I asked if originally it like just like Lucasfilms created THX and Pixar, and then it branched out, and now Disney owns these things, or well, Disney owns all of
Right.
it now, but it was
Yeah.
just Pixar originally.
Hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. So long story short, I appreciate the Switch because, like I said, for the most part, you can play games without the internet, and
Where
but
did
other
you
than
where
that,
did
I
you
mean,
where did you switch from? That's weird.
I'm sorry.
You
What are you
said you
talking
liked
about?
the Switch. Why'd you switch? What'd you switch to?
Oh, you're a comedian. I'm talking about the Nintendo Switch. You're so
Ooh.
funny. And then, but other than that, man, I stick to my old. I love my Wii too because same thing. Like I downloaded a whole bunch of old NES, Super NES games on it. I don't require internet for.
But can you
I
transfer those
do.
purchases to the new system? That'd be great if you could. That would
I think
that
if you have that
you
account,
should be able to, because if you're buying it again and you have to buy it again on Switch, because some people buy new systems to get rid of their old ones,
right,
and Nintendo's trying to find backwards compatibility. So if you bought it already on the Wii or the Wii U,
I
hopefully
think
you
it
can
only goes
transfer it to
Wii
the
U.
Switch. I hope it
I
can
think it's only
transfer to
Wii
the
U.
Switch, because that would definitely define backwards compatibility. Because
Yes.
could you
Yes.
imagine
Well,
all the games you downloaded that are on fucking your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One? You don't
well,
have
it
physical
would be an
copies,
account.
and then
It'd be an
and then you
account.
just transfer it over to the next system. That would be
Yeah.
backwards compatible, and I would support that completely.
True backwards.
Because you used to be able to just buy, a PlayStation 1 game, and you can throw in your PlayStation 2. It's seamless.
Right. Or at that point, they just give you access to a digital copy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think the Wii is out of luck, but the Wii U might because I know Nintendo does say you can transfer because if you have an account with them, it said you can access your account, but that it null and voids. So, for example, if you bought it on the Wii U, you would no longer be able to play it if you have it on the Switch. So it could only play it on the Switch at that point. It always moves forward, not backwards. So, but I keep every
Yeah.
console because they're worth keeping as long as they work.
and
So
they're worth money.
yeah. So what's your final thought, pal?
I think it's a giant cash grab. I've said it multiple times, with giant companies just trying to make more money off us. So I think it's
And
shitty,
you're over it.
and I'm over that shit. Obviously, I haven't bought anything really online.
So Halo 6 is not going to make you rush out and buy the newest console.
Is that where Halo 6 is going on? Is a new console?
I haven't heard anything about Halo. So
Well,
I'm assuming
there
so.
are
They're already
trailers
talking about
for
a new
it,
console.
but there are
already
trailers. So
talk-
hopefully, it goes on Xbox One, because I don't want to fucking buy it for another console.
Well, that's
I mean,
what
I
I'm
will
saying,
buy
is that-
I don't know. I only buy the 360, Xbox 360, Xbox One are the systems I bought solely for Halo. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
yeah. So you're saying that one game might be worth it. For me, the Call of Duties, the
Right.
fact that they had to reinvent Call of Duty 2 again, Modern Warfare.
My buddy
That
remade
says to
that.
me
That's
that
my
they can't.
buddy.
Well, tell your buddy to tell those people to get an original
I
idea in
bought
their
his
head.
game and I never opened it.
Yeah, no, it's just tough because, like, so I'm saying, like, I'm Call of Duty's. It's so bad. Like, you can see the map packs, the DLCs. People can piece together. Oh, this was that parts of that map, or this was parts of that map, and
Yeah.
all they did was paint this differently.
It's crazy,
People
right?
are catching on to this
People are
stuff.
crazy, yeah. It's cash
So,
grabs. Yeah.
anyways, we definitely went way longer than I thought we would on this. So, if you're all done, thanks for listening to Entertainment Banter. My name is Matt.
Oh, there's more to talk about, Matt, but we're going to cut it short here. And that makes me talk a lot, Joel. And I'm done.